Good evening, active traders, and welcome to Trader Success Coaching number 2 in a 2-webinar series of preview events designed to kick off this very special. Very excited about this because for the first time in the entire trading industry, a two-way dialogue is going on between the educators and the traders. And one of the things that I think can really help all of you, and I appreciate those of you who sent in your screen caps and questions already, is to start a dialogue with in-depth, meaningful answers for questions that you have, or how to find and fix and repair trades that went bad or trades that worked out. How could you have made more leverage? So some of the things we want to look at tonight is how the whole Trader Success coaching system works and some examples and updated information to extend what we added in our earlier session. So welcome to all of you. It's really great to see a big turnout. As always, all information is for educational use only, not making advice about what to buy, sell, or hold. You may have seen me in CBS Market Watch, The Street, Stocks and Commodities, like this month, Stocks and Commodities, or in CBS Market Watch, or the Traders Expos, or all over the known universe. Anyway, this is our outline for tonight. And what I wanted to do is, I guess, start off by acknowledging all of you and saying thank you so much for sending in your kind words. We had over 70 comments. I think 74, 75 comments came in. And I wanted to, a lot of them today, so I appreciate the kind words from today and yesterday and the day before and all the rest of it. Dozens and dozens of comments from traders around the world, and I appreciate the thoughts. It helps me also. The reason I asked for this isn't to make people jump through hoops. It's so that I can do kind of an on-the-fly needs assessment / industrial survey design, so I can see what value, what matters to each of you, what your values are, and what types of things would be valuable or useful to you in this whole idea. So as I launch a new concept to market, it's good to see where the feedback is. And one thing that came through a lot is authenticity. Many of you said you really appreciate the fact that I'm a real trader. So thanks for acknowledging that. It's great to see, it's the message is getting through. So I appreciate that. Specific, no BS, one-on-one answers. What could be better? Hey, thanks, Philip. Than a personal response to a personal question from a man who actually trades versus just does marketing like my competitors. Very relative and pointed, real trader feedback on a real trade. And I'm not going to read all these, but I wanted to say thank you very much because I think you all bring up a lot of outstanding points. And one of the things that I share is your enthusiasm for authenticity and making sure that you're learning how to fix trades that went wrong and also how to leverage trades that went right. It was interesting. I think I've gotten just five submissions so far, or 5 or 6. And anyway, that's like 1 or 2 of them were about stops or questions about entries, but another 2 of them were about trades that traders made successful entries and exits in, and could they have done anything to leverage even better. So that's nice to see that difference between. I thought they'd all just be people that took stop losses and how could I have avoided it, but it was more evenly mixed. So that gives me some encouragement that y'all are starting to turn the corner. And we have so many success stories, and one of the things I like to see is your success and how, questions you may have about how to leverage even better. So one of the things that I really appreciate is all the, the good words. That could be the tagline for the site, right? I didn't get an answer from someone who really trades. Now it works is, this is just a concept site that I can point the industry to, but how it works in the mechanics is, say, for example, in Swing Scans members, I uploaded personalized versions of those videos plus the screen cap of the chart that the traders sent, so they can, all of my Swing Scans members can download the chart that was submitted plus see the video question and the video answer. So all of that content for at least those first 4 is in here, so you can see back to back how 4 of those look. And what I did was segment those into videos here that are downloadable, plus the charts and so forth. And of course, I'll add continuously as I get new submissions from traders around the world who are members of my Swing Scans and Trading Open events. So anyway, it's gratifying to see all of you here. A point is that for now at least, monthly members, the good news is everybody who's a member of Swing Scans can get the swing trading video submission downloads. Everyone who's a member of Trading Open will be able to get those as soon as they're posted later this week or early next week. And our annual members not only can download, but they can also submit your individual chart or video if you want to do a video, that's fine, or just do a chart screen cap. Seems to be how people like to do it. A chart screen cap and phone in a question or send in a MP3 file with your question. Just email it to me at Ken at Day Trading University, and then you'll get a personalized video answer from me that specifically goes through your chart. So anyway, that's a bonus that I'm offering for all of my members in those sites. The concept of what we do is, I want to give you some good specific examples first, but the concept is identify how to repair or prevent stop losses and some tips on how to do that. So some repair and prevention tips. You know, if you took a stop, like a trader, an example in Nugget, I just told him flat out that was a bad chart. You shouldn't have been trading that chart because it was, I mean, say in a friendly way, but I like to be a friendly, straight shooter. But, you know, if a chart's sideways and choppy, you have no business trading it. So maybe you were just trading the wrong type of chart. And I showed some example alternatives to look at instead. You know, for example, you know, SKT is one of the picks for my Swing Scans members. They got this type of chart makes a lot more sense in my way of thinking to trade than that type of chart, which is Nugget. That's a sideways, choppy, really horrible, awful, stinky chart that nobody's going to make any money trading, so neither are you. So that's the bad news. The good news is there's much better charts like the ones I alert my members to, like this, that are not only 5 times cheaper, but have much better trends and much easier to potentially make money with. As my entry call was 38.80 on Saturday, and that triggered yesterday and continued the run on up today. So how to find and fix those types of charts is one thing that I think can be especially useful and helpful to you in your journey for becoming a better, more professional, hopefully more successful trader. And part of that, a big piece of that, is trader P&Ls and scaling. So you don't have to just send in a chart. You can send a screen cap of, you know, a broker P&L statement, not with your personal account information, but just the P&Ls of some trades that you did well in or trades that you took stops in. And if you want to ask me to look over the P&Ls from a trade management standpoint, I got a lot of expertise in scaling and position sizing and dynamic entries and exits. You can send in that type of a screen cap. But most of you will send in charts, and that's really what we're looking for. For example, entries and exits. Maybe you get in too early and too late, so I want to help you fix that and turn that around. So if your entry was too soon, or if your exit was too early, or whatever the situation is, you can say, hey, Ken, this is the trade I took. You know, it looks like I got in too late and I got out too early. Was there something in the chart that I'm overlooking that you, Ken, as a professional trader, might be able to spot that could help me the next time I see a similar chart to make more money in it, you know, potentially make more money in it. So that's the type of approach that I want to take, is a very responsible, rules-based, specific P&L management approach with very good, strong charts, and help you improve your entries and exits by responding to your question in a meaningful way. It seems to me, and it could just be me, but tell me if I'm on the right track here. It seems to me that the answers given to traders are far too brief and not helpful enough. As somebody who comes from an education and training background, not only did I teach MBA courses for private universities, but I was a consultant to companies like Ford Motor Company, Rockwell, Sheraton, Hyatt, Ryan, let's see what else, M&M Mars. I had a lot of companies that hired me to come in and help improve operations with the help of their middle management team. And one of the things that I find is that it's not enough to just do a surface, glossy, quick sound bite of an answer. Sound bites might be great if you're saying buy, 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 and booyah, and sell, 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 and buy the sector, and all that kind of crap. But if you want to help people actually improve their skills, you need to go into a little more depth and a little more thoughtful, sensible, adult learning theory-based interaction, right? And that's my expertise, is training and development and trading and quality management. And one of the things that I think will really help you in your own quest or your own journey is to get these types of answers with me as we move forward in our membership videos. So I'm the first person in the industry to do this, to my knowledge. I'm sure my competitors in the industry in general will follow, and that'll become the new norm, but I will be posting this video on YouTube, so it's time-stamped, and I can look when, in 6 months when all my competitors are ripping off my idea, I can point to the timestamp of my idea and say, hey, I was first, as I was with the Trading University concept and so many other things like Saturday webinars that have now become industry standards. I initiated and originated, pioneered a lot of the stuff you see out there this change is a fundamental and much needed, long overdue, I think, approach to active trader education. It's exactly what the kind of answer I would give you in a 5-minute type of format if you and I were on a coaching phone call together, right? And looking at a chart and talking about it, or Skyping or something. So it's giving you a very personalized level of coaching that normally would cost several $1,000s to be part of a coaching program that's altogether, too brief and doesn't help that the competitors do out there. I'd rather include this as a free bonus. Let me ask too, a quick question. Do you think it's a good, normally when I get a bright idea, I launch a new website like this one, but then I also make a new service out of it and make it another business vertical and launch it with an appropriate product launch type of an approach and a lot of fanfare. But this time I'm trying to simplify, so I'm just going to give it away absolutely free to all of my subscribers, right? It's Swing Scans and Trading the Open. So do you think I've been listening to y'all's comments in the surveys, and over the years traders continue to tell me, hey Ken, you got so many sites, it's confusing. I don't know exactly where I'm supposed to go or where I should start with, and that kind of thing. So I'm on a move to simplification and also providing outstanding value by not charging extra for this. It's completely free. So there's no sales pitch here tonight. I was telling you guys it's a free service I'm including for my Swing Scans and Trading the Open subscribers. And I think that's a really good way to add meaningful benefit and meaningful value to each of you by answering questions that you might have. And also you can learn from other traders' Q&A. That's probably the biggest benefit, is you can take a look at the videos from other, the exchange of ideas of a trader asking me and then me giving a thoughtful, specific, step-by-step, not rushed, very helpful, very exact, what to do next, step 1, step 2, step 3 type of an answer. So I wanted to think, does that make sense to everybody? If you would type in why, if you support that idea of me giving it away free and including it with the current service instead of launching it as a separate service. I've been giving thought to trader coaching the last couple of years, and I have various coaching programs, but nothing that gives specific one-on-one video feedback on specific questions in a thoughtful way. So I thought I'd take coaching to a whole new level in the trading industry by doing that and launching that as a core service. And summer is a good time to do that, right? By the way, for all of our friends up in Canada, happy Canada Day this Friday, and happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day for all of us fellow Americans Monday. It's the Independence Weekend, so celebrate your independence and have a good time. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that as a paradigm shift for active trader education and training. It seems like there's far too many one-way videos and that are outdated the moment they're created, and a lot of preaching to the masses from the gurus out there are trying to sell people these phony, fake $1,000 indicators. That's just out, right? Well, don't get me started about problems with educators, but that's another one that one of my traders, a new member over at my Trading the Open live room, said they're happy to have left a former place they're at because some moron was trying to scalp me minis and then trying to charge over $1,000 for indicator on top of it. And that's a real, in my opinion, it's an unethical way to do business. You don't try and run a live room with a dependency on some magic indicator that you also charge people up the yin-yang for. I think that's not honest or not fair. I think it's better to give honest training. And anyway, my point is, back to it, I wanted to mention that it's something I'm including free. So thanks. Karen is saying, also seeing that others have the same questions as I do, supportive. And yeah, from Juan saying, yeah, you'd be taking care of the trading community. And thanks, David, appreciate it. And good to see. Another thing that I want to cover for y'all is the fact that we're going to be doing advanced breakout and pivot patterns. So in my responses, I'm an expert in breakout trading as well as getting out of trades at the first sign of trouble with pivots. One of the things that I want to build into the training and coaching video responses to you are very specific pattern differences that an experienced trader, an expert trader, would see that you may not see, that you might overlook, right? Just because you don't know what to look for. Kind of like one of those word search puzzles or a hidden object mystery game on the Kindle or whatnot, which can be really fun. As a trader, you need to know the specific advanced pattern skills to get out. And that's, blissfully free of things like RSI and stochastics and CCI and all that kind of BS. I don't use a lot of derivative technicals. I use price action, candles, and volume, and that's it, right? I use breakout patterns with candles for the reversals, and also momentum entries, as well as volume ups and downs, and classic ascending triangles and cups, and good strong straight ahead breakout patterns. There are some nuances to that, though, that you need to be aware of, and I wanted to bring those to your attention as you ask me questions about those in the videos as well. So if I see something that's a advanced tip, I'll bring it to your attention. I'll say, well, hey, did you notice this one little thing? And that should have got you out of the trade or kept you from getting in the first place. And knowing those landmines to avoid stepping on is really important. So I want to help correct a lot of the, very understandable, errors that you might make in your trades. Using the basics will get you but so far. But the main thing for successful trading is tight stops. And the number two thing is with strongest charts. That's kind of it for trading. Kind of like to lose weight, it's eat less and move more. You don't have to overthink it. Less complex carbs and more vegetables and blah, blah. But anyway, eat less and move more to lose weight. It's really simple. That's all you got to do. Eat less, move more. Easier said than done. And trading, tight stops, strongest charts. That's all you need to do. Okay, well, as I go through the coaching videos and I try and help you with individualized answers, I want to give you advanced tips and insights that you may not be aware of. And I want to unfold or unlock or uncover additional techniques that make sense to help you make better trading decisions more consistently. And the last point here is your Q&A for improving your wins. I'm all about trying to help you guys make money so we can all play together for many, many years. It's a shared interest. We have a mutual interest in you not losing in the markets, and we have a mutual interest in you making a lot of money, or at least not losing much as you learn, and hopefully turn to where you're starting to eke out a decent, making a little more, so kind of a hobby, you're making a little more than you're giving back in stops, and then you start scaling up, and then you start doing better in terms of your personal income as your personal goal. It's my goal to help you get there sooner rather than later. And I think by taking the extra time and energy and effort, I'm very conscientious about teaching the right way and sharing lessons learned from tens of thousands of real money trades. So I've got a big bag of tricks or a deep body of knowledge to draw upon, and I can pull that to help you improve your own trades. And so my goal is to help you get to where you want to get sooner rather than later. As I said, one of the main differentials, or one of the main points in all of this, is to get away from the educator who's know-it-all and says exactly what to do, and you're supposed to nod your head yes, and then kind of blame yourself if you get things wrong, which is what my competitors do. What I would instead encourage you to do is ask questions, and ask a good question with a chart so I know what the heck you're talking about. A good, honest, step-by-step question, like so many of you. Well, half a dozen of you written in already right off the bat, so I appreciate that. But I want to start seeing more, and it'd be great to see, from all of my members at Swing Scans and Trading Open, your individual submissions, because I know many of you are members in those two services, and I think it's a really good way for you to get up to speed by getting personalized answers. The point is, it's not all about me. Instead, it's all about you. And as we get moving on this, really exciting because it really turns the tables so that you're the focal point for success and not just listening to somebody and then struggling and fumbling around trying to make it on your own, kind of like learning how to play golf, which is frustrating and takes many years, or learning how to play a musical instrument or any other endeavor. It really helps not only to have the coach telling you what to do and showing you what to do, but also correcting your mistakes. So, if you're using trying to remember my golf, like a 3-wood on the driving range or wood or an iron, whatever, you're trying to swing and you hack away at the ball, a good golf pro is going to come over and tell you about your swing and your club head. It's been 18 years since I tried to learn golf, so it's been quite a while. Anyway, the point is, the good golf pro is going to come over and show you. He's going to tell you, well, you bent your wrist a little bit. I remember he'd always tell me, you bend your wrist too much, or you're trying to hack away at it too quickly. You need to be more graceful in your club head velocity as you make the arc to impact the ball and not do a hook or a slice. Anyway, that's a missing link to what's out there in the trading education industry. There's a lot of one-way preaching and talking and blah, 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 blah about charts, but there's very little attention made towards helping traders turn their personal challenges around. And so that's one thing that I'm thinking. I'm always trying to think of how can I continuously lead the industry and provide world-class training above and beyond what anyone else is doing. And this is the launch of that concept. So you heard it here first. No one else is doing this. I am initiating it. I'm sure I will be copied like I always am. I'm the most widely ripped off guy in the trading industry, to my never-ending consternation. But hey, you know, if it's lead follower, get out of the way. So I want to lead the industry and make this about you, so that if you have a course correction question, you know, or you have an issue about a chart that you got into and you're struggling with it, you can screen cap it, call in the question, and get an answer from me. You know, give me a few days, maybe up to a week, to post a video answer that you can download and keep forever. Again, it's exclusively a new service for my Trading the Open and Swing Scans live room members. Our monthly members and even trial members can download the videos. My annual members only are permitted to send me a question or upload a question. So it's another good incentive to upgrade to annual. So far everybody's called me on the phone and left a voicemail. I haven't had anyone send in an MP3, but you know, you can always get an app for your cell phone that'll let you record your voice or use a webcam or record, you know, with a microphone into your computer or whatever makes sense. Or if you're in the US and Canada, you can just dial my 800 number and leave that's just a voicemail. So you can just leave the voicemail, and that's what traders have been doing. And then also email me about the same time that you leave the voicemail, so I know who it's both from, your chart screen cap to Ken at Day Trading University. And that way, you know, you got a question, get an answer, right? I think that's a good, responsible, mature, intelligent way to start, you know, making an impact in the trading industry, even more so than I have already, is to start on a personal level, on a way that makes sense for you personally. Answer with a thoughtful, in-depth, honest, realistic. If you and I were sitting there over coffee at Starbucks, that's the same exact thing I would tell you. Or if you're at one of my live money show appearances, or you know, called in if I was doing a TV appearance and one of the audience had called in a question, or you know, if you were at one of my live Las Vegas or Denver seminars and you're asking a question from the audience, this is the type of answer I would give you. And I want to be very conscientious about doing it the right way. The big benefit that, you know, I bring to the table as I do these is I'm a real money trader with proof I really trade, unlike most of my competitors, as y'all nicely pointed out in the comments, so I appreciate that. And I think here's a good question, or a good point from Mark, is answering very specific questions. And I like that. The more meaningful, by the way, you can tell how intelligent somebody is by the specificity of their questions they ask in general in life, right? And if you know people, you know that. I've trained tens of thousands of people. The more specific question, or at least I should say, maybe not the more intelligent the person, but the better prepared the person is, the more likely to be successful that individual is. So if you're just like Tony Robbins would say the questions you ask determine your outcomes in your life, and that's completely true. You should be asking not, you know, if, but how, right? You know, can I make it as a trader is the wrong question. It's how do I make it as a trader? You know, come hell or high water, I'm going to buckle down and figure out the differences between what makes it in my entries and exits and my scanning and my trade management versus everything else I'm currently doing, and start mapping out a path to get me from point A to point B so I can start making progress in my trading. So very specific. So that's another request I would make of all of you is the more specific question you ask me, the more meaningful answer I can give. Just like, you know, if you talk to various, you know, you go to a doctor, if you say, you know, I got an ache in my back, that's okay, well, that's really helpful there, Sparky. But if you say I've got an ache, you know, 6 inches off my spine that started, you know, 7 days ago and started radiating up the spine 3 days ago, and now I can't bend over. It's responsive to heat, but not to cold. What should I do, doc? That's a much more specific question that will get you a much more helpful answer. So one of the, I'm just at random looking at these, and that's a very good add-on to that question, is the more specific the question. And so many of you had written in, these are very good specific questions, by the way. These are good intelligent questions that everybody asked me, to my relief, so that's good. You guys are smart. My traders tend to be pretty smart, so you can tell by the types of questions they ask that they're on the ball. So ask specific questions. I mean, you can ask whatever you want, but you'll get a better answer because I'll have more to work with if you ask me a specific question. Like, for example, kind of like I must look at charts. I can't just look at PowerPoints. I'm a trader. Let's say we're looking at, for example, one of my long calls today for my traders was an XIV on its breakout, and I said, I believe it was 2230 was the long. Anyway, I called this long for my traders today because it was a gap continuation. If a trader had asked me, sent in a screen cap saying, hey, Ken, I didn't get in on the long, let me pull up the actual alerts table from today so you can see proof. Yeah, XIV 22.3 and 22.6 were my two sequential long calls. We also nailed it in the E-minis and so many others. These are live. We had one stop loss in TRGP, but the others that hit worked out. We had a stop, or I should say a stop, a break even, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. So 9 wins, a stop, and a break even. Not too shabby. Do the math on how much you could have made. Anyway, I said to go long when it was down here if it got over 22.30, and I even followed it for everyone live. A trader might ask a question like, hey, Ken, I got in the 22.30, I sold the 22.50, but I didn't re-enter over 22.6, and so I missed the last 60 cents of the run. Is there anything I could have done differently? And an answer a practical answer would be, well, automate it by using a buy stop order in your brokerage account. So that way you automatically get a fill without you having to be there in front of the monitors all day long. You can just put in buy stop orders, especially if you're swing or intraday trading. Anyway, so this one turns green too because it did a good continuation play for us. So anyway, my point being, the more specific the questions you can ask me, the more meaningful answers I can give you. Like my swing, or that was from Trading Open. Swing scans on Saturday said to go long at 38.80, right? Anyway, the point is, one of the things that can help, let me pull this up so you can see. I don't want to give away all the alerts for the week for non-members who are here, but anyway, this is from the members area. This is the first of 14 alerts. You can see proof that was in the alerts at the top of the table. That worked out really nicely. So, and plus they can get download videos of the webinars and swing scans. Plus, the main thing I wanted to share with you, and I just updated this past weekend, was the success coaching videos are now in the members area, and I'll update these as they come in. And as it starts to get crowded, I'll delete off old ones and add new ones. So you're getting a continuous pipeline of successful entry and exit answers to questions. So you can send in your chart, whatever charting software you might use, whether it looks like this trader is using Ameritrade, this trader is using freestockcharts.com, whatever you're using, or if hopefully you should be using, eSignal or NinjaTrader or MT4 or TradeStation or Metastock or one of the name brand charting softwares. Okay, just a tip there. If you want to play with the big boys, you got to have professional tools. Otherwise, you're at a distinct disadvantage. Really, don't be penny wise and pound foolish and have amateurs tools and then wonder why you're not getting professional results. If you want professional results, the first step towards potentially doing that is make sure at a minimum you got professional tools. Anyway, back to it. Anyway, this is something that we've got added to our members areas at both swing scans. We have the swing trading questions that came in from these members here, and in the Trading the Open, we'll have the day trading videos coming up soon within a week or so. Anyway, so I would like to ask you to think of one question that you might have about this whole process. Maybe just type in a word or two. I know it's summer, it's hot. It's hot, 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 which is a great samba line song or salsa song, which is good for a conga line, but I digress. I'm not partying in Vegas. I'm working my tail off as usual. Normally in the summertime, I don't like to go in the peak of summer because it's 108 in the shade in Vegas, but I do like to go to Bellagio in summer. This year I'm not, so boo-hoo, I'm sitting here working for you guys. what would be a question that you would have, or an observation? A main thing would be a question about either the content that's allowed or how it works or anything. I'm pretty open. I just want a good, smart question about, hey, Ken, I took a stop in this chart. Is there anything I could have done differently? Just tell me your entry and your exit, right? Or it's not to say, something like, don't send in something stupid like, hey, Ken, I'm trading a penny stock called Plug, and some guy told me I should go short 200,000 bajillion shares, and I too could become a wealthy person. Should I short it at one point? No, don't ask stupid questions. I don't suffer fools gladly. Use the types of charts that I like to trade that actually work, right? Things that are 15 to 50 up to $70 a share, actually running, that have good volume and volatility. And then what would your question be about that? So that kind of question for a swing trade, or this type for a day trade, or even, because again, odds are if you ask me about a chart that I would never trade, I'll just straight up tell you, like the fellow wrote in about the nugget chart. Even if you're hearing about it a lot in the news or in chat rooms or whatnot, I used to trade it back when it was much cheaper, but I'm not trading nugget up here because it's way too expensive and it's too choppy. So the correct answer is avoid this type of chart in the first place. And I may answer that. That may be the answer for the question. You may ask me about, hey, Ken, I'll give you a straight, honest. You always can count on me to give you an honest, no BS, straight shot answer. How a real trader would do this. If you're gonna say, hey, Ken, I bought FR on a pivot down at 26.60 and I got stopped out. What could I have done differently? I will answer you, very helpfully and very honestly, but, I would tell you I'm a breakout trader, so I'm not an advocate of trying to screw around with pivots, because you're going to get in trouble most of the time. Like going to a bad neighborhood, you're likely to get mugged. You want to instead trade good high velocity charts that have an actual shot of working out. Whether you're day trading something like SPWR on a inverse head and shoulders breakout to the upside, or you're doing a nice straight entry in a chart like that SKT one, I want you to learn the difference between successful charts and ones that aren't. And I want you to get from me the trade. The other thing you need to add too, one thing I would ask or suggest that you ask about is the scaling and position sizing aspect of it. So that's another quick tip for making the most out of the coaching how-to video process I've outlined at tradersuccesscoaching.com, is make sure that you're maybe asking now and then at least about, I did the first trade, how could I have managed a second trade because I missed out on the big run. I only did the first initial trade and I made a modest profit, but I could have made more. Where should I have scaled in? Where could I have added to that trade? What would you use with your rules and how you trade? And I'm certainly happy to help answer that question for you. Let me see if there's any other questions in here. A lot of good observations. Appreciate that. Yeah, you have to have some savvy out there. You have to look past the flim-flam artists out there, these guys that just talk about charts that don't trade and try and sound all fancy and, oh, you got to use the reversal, whatever, reversal ABC groundhog chart pattern, and be sure to buy my super supercalifragilisticexpialidocious indicator for $1,000, because that too can help you make money. Yeah, I think most of you are smarter enough to know to avoid that kind of flim-flammery. You're looking for good, honest price action, plus a dose of candles and volume and breakout professional trading entries, and that's all it takes. Plus a good dose of tight stop, strong charts. And the difference between the two, I think, as you close the contrast, close the gap between what you're currently trading, a lot of times you're just trading junk charts you shouldn't be trading in the first place, and that's why you're losing. That's a big part of it, by the way. I found in training tens of thousands of traders this last 16 years, a lot of traders are just trading junk charts that no matter what you did, you'd likely lose money, like going to Vegas casino and playing roulette. You might be excited about the bright, glittery wheel and the ball going click clack, but you're going to lose your money. So don't fool around with that. So understand the difference. I see a question here from Frank. When scaling up after a stock goes up 2 points, if you have sufficient money, do you buy the same number of shares as your initial entry? It all depends on the strength of the market. If the market is going up, usually what I will do is I'll either do a 1-1-2-4 or a 1-2-4 progression. So maybe 50 shares first trade, 50 shares second trade, 100 shares third trade. That's a good straightforward progression. If, however, the market's especially volatile to the upside and going strong, I might do larger initial size, like 100 shares, then 100 shares, then scale up to 200 shares on the third trade. So it's all a function of the market. If I'm, for example, going long and scaling do not go hand in hand in this market, because overall it's been a selling market despite today's relief rally. Overall, the S&P is still in a downtrend, and so for that reason, I would not be scaling aggressively. I might do the opposite. I might do initial might be 50 shares, but my second trade might only be 20 or 30 shares because I'm going to be a little more cautious because the market's going down. So that's a good example of a good question, and thanks for it, and integration of the answer with the broad market itself, because you have to trade markets first. You should always add to winning trades. You should always subtract from or get out of losing trades, period. Never add to winning trades. That's like some of these morons who run E-mini chat rooms that try and buy their way out of losing positions. I'm long 10 contracts, but it went against me, so I'll double down and add another 10 contracts. Oh, I'm in the red even more, so I'll double down and add 20 more contracts, and they blow up all their traders' accounts. They may be able to survive it if they have a big enough account, but that's dangerous and sloppy foolish. You never add to losing trades, and you never use proprietary indicators to make said trades. You look for good price action breakouts and pivots and be able to identify entries and exits. And the difference between, my point is you need to learn the right way to trade from the best charts with the very strongest breakout patterns with volume support, and use a very tight, careful risk management approach. So as you're scaling, what you might want to do then is, send in a question and combine scaling with it. Say, okay, hey Ken, I took the trade and it's in the money. I went ahead and closed it out because I was nervous. I thought it might sell down, and odds are you're right, probably would sell down. So you got out while the getting's good and you made some money in the trade. Maybe you could have made more money if you added, but maybe not. Maybe the slope of the line of the breakout wasn't strong enough, or the sequential number of points that it was going up wasn't sufficient to justify adding to that trade. So you did the right thing, and that might be the answer, right? So it all depends on the charts in the market and the sector that you're trading within. But having a good, sensible approach to this is something I want to bring to help all of you. And, the best I can do is give you my own lessons learned from my own trading experience and the difference between my winners and my stops, and then hopefully help you accelerate your progress and close the gaps that you got in your own entries and exits as well. So anyway, this whole thing is all about you guys. So it's all about your entries, your exits, your questions. Very customer focused, very trader focused approach to training and education. Not just saying, here's a magic chart pattern, bazinga, right? This isn't Big Bang. This is your trading account, which you don't want to make a big bang. You want to make some big bucks, right? So anyway, let's make it work. And again, that's, it's a new service that's included for my Trading Open and Swing Scans members. All you got to do is, again, eventually it's just for annual members. This first week or two, I'm opening up to all of my members, regardless of status. If you're a monthly member, you can still do it, at least this week. Call in your question or email an MP3 or some kind of audio file, a WAV file or whatnot, and then email me your chart screen cap to my email at ken@daytradinguniversity or ken@trademastery.com, and I'll get it, and then I can make up a video with an answer for you. So very good concierge level service that no one else is doing in the industry, and I thought it could be part of the solution to helping you turn things around as a trader. So thanks. So any questions about no trading questions tonight, please. This is about the process, about the system. Clues of I will go ahead and answer a question from one in FX. What are the clues of institutional buying? You can look at, whether you're looking at commitments of traders reports or you're looking at breakout chart patterns, there's a sequence of signals to look for. The main thing I always look at to clue me into institutional buying is the sustained length of the trend. Does it keep sustaining itself on high volume? This isn't a Forex chart, but the same thinking. Do you have a sustained trend strength? If it's, like this pound dollar chart, if it's just grinding around sideways choppy, I would say there's not any significant institutional buy or sell pressure in that chart because price isn't moving. Price is always the clue or the tell that tells you institutional volume is at work. So when it's consolidating, kind of inverse head and shoulders, it may lift, but overall it's still a down chart. Institutional buying on a good strong trend, that tells you got institutional players at work. Hey, thanks, Frank. And thanks, Karen. Yeah, good question about the chart. I don't have time to look at individual charts tonight, but send it in or ask me during one of the members' webinars. That's not enough points to trade. It's only 1 point chart. I would never touch UNG with a 20-foot pole because there's only 1 point of volatility. Even if you happen to get it right, and even if you dodged the consolidation boring and you didn't get bored to death watching it, and even if you did get in on the second breakout, you might have got stopped out there. Even if you got in on this, that's still a junk chart because it's too cheap. It's not enough trend strength. So I would never trade something like that. That's my answer. I would trade something like this, with a multi-point range and a cleaner chart that looks like a piece of string or yarn that's tied tight. So remember, only ask about charts over $15 a share, over $20 a share. But anyway, hope that helps. Anyway, what else? I think that's about it. One thing that I wanted to do, again, it's exciting to get this concept launched, and I appreciate all the involvement and the questions and the kind words that y'all have written in. One of the things I think can help in your own trades is think about these types of questions. The burning questions is, hey, everything looked good at the time. Why did I take a stop? And sometimes there is no answer other than, that was just the price action movement and your setup looked good. You approached the trade right. You did everything right. And yet the trade still went against you. Well, that's what small stops are for. But more often than not, it's going to be something like you're trading the wrong chart in the first place, like the UNG chart. It's a horrible, horrible chart that I never trade in a bajillion years because I never make money with it. So that's the answer to that, right? That type of answer is, it's a short, maybe blunt answer, but that's the truth of it, right? You want to pick the right charts that are actually high percentage charts that are likely to work out and make money. And just because people are talking about it in a chat room or forum or some favorite guru's newsletter does not make it a good candidate for you to trade. You want to trade instruments that as a whole have sufficient volume, volatility, and trend strength and point range to be able to make you some money, right? So as you look at the difference between your own entries and exits and why it worked out in some charts and not in others, you'll start to see certain truths emerge. You'll start to see differentials between, okay, yeah, that trade worked out, but that was a really strong chart, so of course it worked out. Well, yeah, that's kind of the trick. These other 5 trades didn't work out, and they were just kind of marginal charts, right, or so-so charts. Well, that's kind of why, because you weren't trading the right charts. So a big piece of the corrective approach I want to take in this to helping you learn the difference is show you not only why a chart you might mention wouldn't be worth trading in the first place, but some alternatives and some kind of thought starters to help you get your own personal learning process started professionally. So you can start looking at the difference and internalizing the difference between how to trade. Just like if you're learning how to golf or learning how to play a musical instrument, and you start off with your chords and your scales and long tones and intonation exercises and buckle down and focus on the fundamentals so that you can get your notes out correctly without trying to get all fancy right out the bat. And I know from a personal experience that's easier said than done. You want to get fancy and exotic quick, but the correct answer for trading is it's a lot more about the math than the chart patterns, and you really need to have a very careful risk management approach in place no matter what you're doing. And then the safety net is making sure that you're trading with a tight stop approach in context of the strongest breakout charts in the strongest markets. And any good professional trader, any of my institutional clients would nod their head yes and say, yeah, that's correct. That's the right way to trade. He's telling them the truth. You go, Ken. That's the right way to do it. And, my own trades, I've done so many thousands of trades. One of the things I've learned is my best winning trades felt like they were kind of late to get in because I was a little conservative and cautious before I got in, and they were early to get out. So I wouldn't call it scared trading, but it's much more conservative, uh, late exits, early entries, rather than jumping in at everything that looks like it's running and then letting it go for far too long against you, kind of thing. It's much smarter to wait instead for the right sweet spot of a breakout, get in on the trade, scale in where appropriate, and then get out at the first sign of trouble, whether it's a shooting star or bearish engulfing or a couple of red candles or a volume drop along with a price action, loss of support, and that kind of thing. So good stuff. All right, well, thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Another evening webinar, and again, I wanted to thank all of you for posting your kind words. I will, you know how to say, you'll get the link to the download video of tonight's event in the follow-up email that GoToWebinar sends. So what I do is I get the video processed and uploaded to my Amazon S3 server, and then I update the follow-up email that GoToWebinar sends to you. So please refrain from asking me, Ken, where's the download link? It'll be in the email that GoToWebinar sends in 6 hours. So it should be, I set it to do it in 6 hours. So it'll show up later in the morning, at least if you're in a place where it's late at night. Wait 6 hours and you'll get it's only 6 hours, not even a day. I like to be very quick. So in a matter of 360 minutes, you'll have the link to the download of tonight's event. And thanks so much to all of you, the kind words for writing in. This is exclusively for all of you who wrote in, so I appreciate the comments from 70-odd people. It's really nice to see. And, you know, the best thing is the price is right. This is free and included. The downloads are included completely free for my members, and you have the privilege of uploading if you're an annual member. So I'm not even charging, you know, an a la carte, you know, $80 or $100 per analysis type of thing that I would if I were launching this as a separate service. Instead of doing it a la carte, I'm just making it free and included for those of you who are Trading Open and Swing Scans members. Note too that the videos will be different and are different in each of these services, each sold separately. We'll mostly have day trading videos and questions in this Trading Open Live Room members era, and we will only have specifically have swing trading video Q&A and swing scans. And a lot of different examples. I got many members who are, or I should say a moderate number of members who are joining, are members of both services, but I will keep separate the videos. So Trading Open members get the day trading videos, Swing Scans members get the swing trading videos, and if you're a member of both, of course, you get to get access to both sets of videos. So that's something else to look forward to on the horizon as we continue to move forward. So anyway, a heartfelt thanks to all of you. Y'all have been amazing. I appreciate the kind words. It kind of validates the concept. It's great to see 70-odd comments in the middle of summer. So thank you very much for taking time to write in. I like to make this a community approach because I really mean it. This is a paradigm shift in the industry. I wanted to make, kind of hate corporate buzzwords like that, but that's what they were saying back in the 80s when I was a quality management consultant, paradigm shifts. Anyway, but the point is, it is a major shift and focal point from not just one-way education, but more interactive dialogue and interactive coaching that's normally reserved only for high-end, you know, $5,000 coaching programs with individual emails and phone calls and whatnot. What I'd rather do is, because I got so many subscribers and I don't have time to do individual phone calls, I can do individual answers to you. And what I'll do is I wait till I have, you know, 5 or 7 of these requests in the charts, and then I can film the answers all in one take, right, in an hour, so I can answer all the questions and make videos out of them and all that. So it saves time for everybody and really focused on any questions and trades gone right, trades gone wrong, scaling, position sizing, entries and exits, scanning, advanced breakout and pivot patterns, and the rest of it. All aimed towards helping you make better winning trades. So anyway, thanks so much for being here. And again, as promised, there's no pitch or anything. I just wanted to, you know, use this as an opportunity to let you know a little bit more about the whole concept and hopefully get you energized and excited about it. You know, if you are a current member of Trading Open or Swing Scans, send me your chart, and hopefully this is some good examples. I always like to give you examples of what the heck I'm talking about. So, you know, the chart can look like this, or whatever chart you use. You know, any chart is better than no chart. So send in your chart and I will make a video answer for you, you know, with your question. And a really good way to start focusing on getting personalized answers to your toughest trading questions. You know, ask me your toughest question. I mean, you can ask easy questions, but, you know, I'm like the tip of the bell-shaped curve. I'm the sharp pencil in the bunch. So ask me very detailed advanced questions if you wish. You can ask me simple questions, of course, but you may get more out of it if you ask me intermediate or advanced questions. It's up to you. I would rate most of the questions I got were kind of intermediate level, which is great. That's meets the needs of most of the traders so far. So that's good, and I appreciate those of you who sent those in. So anyway, thanks for being here, and I will see y'all in the members areas of my services. And remember, it's all about you. So get out there, be a member of one of these two if you're not already, and start getting access to these videos. And if you join as annual, you can start sending in your screen caps and questions at least monthly, and I can answer you with a personalized video answer for me personally. So I appreciate y'all being here, and wanted to wish y'all the best for a great summer trading session. We're likely to have lots of good volatility thanks to Brexit and the reaction up and down. So we likely got a good hot summer market to trade. So that's the good news. Now let's start getting you the answers you need to your toughest trading questions. And that's what I'm here for. So anyway, thanks so much for being here, and I will see y'all next time. Again, the link to download the video will be in the email that GoToWebinar automatically sends you 6 hours from now. So you'll be able to download it from that link and refer back to it. So anyway, thanks so much for being here, and I will see y'all in our next live event. This has been Ken Calhoun presentation from Day Trading University and Trade Mastery. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.